Coming up on today's show, a little March Madness of our own. From great lots in the hills of Kingswood to builders who can create your dream home. Terrific ideas abound as Designing Texas starts now.
Because as you'll see later, when we get into the breakfast area, we're going into more of this electric kind of blue.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Jocelyn White, and welcome to this edition of Designing Texas, the show all about upscale living with a down-home heart. Now, March is one of my favorite months of the year, not because it's windy, but because it's the month in which I was born. And something special is happening tomorrow, too, the official opening of Toulouse, another of Alberto Lombardi's restaurants, and this one is in Legacy West. And it's kind of one of our show's pet projects because Bruce Russo has been taking us all the way through it. We've been talking off and on for the past 6 months about a major project Gary Riggs has been working on in North Carolina. We actually are visiting that place next month, so Gary is filling us in today.
This kind of began as the painting that's here behind us. Everything is kind of coming from there that's starting and anchoring out through the house. We're standing here at the dining table, and
Which is beautiful.
It's 10 feet long, so it's going to be real grand. And then we've got the chairs here that have got this plaid on them. Just off the entry and the dining room then is the hall bathroom. So we're going to put this on the wall in there. So it'll have, you know, and the trim in the house will be white. So it'll be real graphic looking and really kind of bold with that kind of big pattern.
So what room is next?
Well, then from the entry and all of that, then we're going to transition and go right into the family room or the great room. This is the main living area of the house. And in there, then we're kind of pulling that same coloration around, because as you'll see later, when we get into the breakfast area, we're going into more of this electric kind of blue. So the sofa is going to be in this plaid right here, this window pane, and then chairs will be in this.
Plaid's just a classic, isn't it?
Well, it works really well, and because it's that window pane, it's a little more graphic, and so it feels a little more modern.
It does.
The sofas are very transitional. And then we'll have pillows in this soft lavender, so then we're pulling that around. Then we've got other fabrics too that we're going to do some things with that's going to really, you know, kind of pull everything around. We'll throw a little bit of this
Makes it pop.
in like an accent chair or something to just give a little bit of interest as you go.
Now, my favorite rooms are always bedrooms, so what do you have in store there?
Well, in the master, we've just gotten the beginnings of. We've got a beautiful tufted bed in a really nice neutral fabric, and then there's a dark frame on that bed that's going to be really pretty. But we're going to contrast the nightstands and do something in a lighter, more of a grayish kind of taupey kind of finish with a really pretty stone top on it. And then from there we'll go into the guest room, and we've got one of the guest rooms pretty much finished as far as everything pulled together. And so what we're doing here, the beginnings of that came from this leather bed.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
And we've got this chest, and that's really cool because we've got the fabric in the front and on the side panels.
Yeah.
So it's making it kind of masculine, but still soft. And then we're looking at this then for the drapes.
I could go stay in this guest room
Yeah.
very easily.
For sure.
Gary Riggs, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Gorgeous, gorgeous state, and that is going to be one kind of gorgeous house. We look forward to seeing the finished product. In the meantime, you may ask why we're on the third Sunday of the month this month. We pride ourselves as being on the second Sunday. Well, we got preempted because of all the goings-on at Texas Motor Speedway. So we thought maybe we should find a really sweet deal there.
I decided I was going to build another speedway, and I was looking around the country on where to build it. I looked at St. Louis and Kansas and Las Vegas and Texas. after looking at all these other places, well, I decided that this is the place. And Ross Perot Jr. had a big impact on what I did because he was really wanting me to do it so badly, and he put together the movers and shakers of this area in order to get the thing done. I was impressed with that.
This speedway on the prairie is impressive too, and Bruton Smith had a plan to make it even more so.
What made you decide to put in condo towers?
We've all seen racetracks. I haven't seen a lot of racetracks with condo towers.
Well, I first did that at Charlotte, and it worked. My idea there when I first did it was I'd heard about football and tailgating and things, and I thought, well, we can do a lot better. So I wanted to do it like an extension from tailgating, and we'd build condos, and you could be in your condo and invite your friends up and do your tailgating, and then you could then watch the races from your condo, or if you wanted to go somewhere else in the grandstands, you could do that too. But that's what it became, was an extension of tailgating.
Make that an upscale extension, if you please. Bruton has a penthouse here of his own.
I wanted it to be beautiful. I wanted it to be very impressive because I have a lot of special guests that come, and I wanted them to appreciate it, and when they walk in the front door, that they feel like they're not in the garage area, that they're in another area of this big, beautiful speedway.
As you'll see, this is a man who knows what he wants, what he likes, and he's filled this home with many of those things.
I enjoy going to auctions, and there's couple of major auctions in Atlanta, there, and also in New York, William Doyle Galleries and places. And I like to go, and if you see something, and sometimes I'll have an interior designer with me, and I'll say, now we need to do this, that, and the other, and sometimes they'll say, oh no, we can't do that. Then I go ahead and buy it anyway, and so then we make it work. So all these antique things you see in here, all of that came from Europe. There's one piece or a couple pieces here that came from a dining room suite, and we cut it away and made it. And the mantel came from an entrance to a castle in Europe, and it was 12-point-something feet tall, and we whacked it and made it fit and made a mantel out of it.
This could be a condo anywhere except for two things: the stadium seating for watching the racetrack, and that wonderful whine that you hear when the cars go round.
Well, I don't know, maybe we could put this on Park Avenue in New York.
You think?
And then you could watch the traffic and the people in New York.
I just don't think it would have the same cachet.
Still to come on today's show, we visit the hills of Kingswood, of course, and after that, today's set is here at Toulouse Restaurant, which opens tomorrow, and Bruce is going to take us on the grand tour, plus build to suit and deepen the heart. Don't go away.
If you'd like to review anything on today's show, just go to our website at designingtx.com. Be sure to like us on Facebook, and don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, Designing Texas.
What do you see when you look in the mirror? Is your tummy pooching over? And no matter how much dieting or exercise you do, nothing works? Maybe you want a little or a lot more, or maybe a little less of a cup size. Do you see some extra jiggle under your arms or thighs that make you feel insecure? Dr. Robert True is triple board certified and specializes in making you feel beautiful from the inside out. Call today for your free consultation. No matter what you see, the solution can be found at True MD.
everybody, I'm Jocelyn White, and we're at home in the hills of Kingswood. Of course, I'm with my partner, John Zazelka, and we have a special guest today. So, John, why don't you do the introductions?
This is Loy Lowry. The fact that this gentleman's been building houses in our developments for probably 27 or so years, although I know he looks too young, we've had a lot of fun. So, let me turn it over.
Yeah, give us a little sneak peek, an overview, if you will, of the house you're building at the hills.
Absolutely a phenomenal house on one of the most phenomenal lots that I know of. The hills of Kingswood is just so beautiful, and we've got a 25,000 square foot house going in with about 21,500 square feet of living area.
Wow.
Including an indoor basketball court, 3 levels. We have a walkout basement. We have a lot that drops about 30 feet from front to back, which gives us the opportunity to build something that's going to be spectacular.
I think spectacular may indeed be the word, and Loy will talk with you a little bit later more about the house he's building at the hills. But first, we visit with Greg Smith of Monaco Homes, who has something right up your alley, John. He's taking a 4-car garage, turning it into an 8-car garage plus a man cave.
Wow, yes, Greg is just my kind of guy.
Thanks, John and Jocelyn. We're at our newest home out here in the hills of Kingswood. This is a coastal style home with a white tile roof, white stucco. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And our newest client that just purchased this house, just like John, is a huge car buff. He has 10 cars. Well, we have taken this 4-car garage and we're going to be turning it into an 8-car garage. By doing that, we took all these ceiling beams and we've raised everything up 2 extra feet, giving us 12-foot in clearance. That gives us room to bring in the car lifts that we're going to be doing. We're doing 4 car lifts, so at the end of the day, this garage will house 8 cars total. And then we will also be building another garage back in the back, which will hold 6 cars. It'll be a 4-car garage with 2 car lifts in the front. So total, this house will house 14 cars once we're completed. Chris with Detroit Customs will be installing the car lifts in this particular project here at the hills of Kingswood. He's done all my work in the past. Let's go take a look at it. Hey Chris, what are you working on?
What's up, Greg? Jamie, how you doing?
Good to see you.
It's been a while.
Well, I've got a project coming up, as I've told you about it, in the hills of Kingswood in Frisco, and I'm going to need several of these car lifts, and I know you've done them for me in the past. The garage is going to house 14 cars in total, and so we're going to need 6 of these lifts for all these hot rods.
That'll work.
So I'm going to need your help again putting all these together.
Sure, not a problem at all.
Okay, Chris, we were just kind of wondering what's all involved in installing.
They're pretty simple. They get shipped in, and of course they're, well, you've seen them before. It's just a big, long, skinny, one big box. So we can do probably 3 a day, I'm guessing. That's about what we've done before in the past for you.
Yeah. Well, these really create the ultimate man cave.
It's a big space saver if you're a car junkie like us also.
Yeah. Or a woman, yeah.
Or a woman junkie. Yeah, actually the Jaguar's my wife's car, so she's moving in. Yeah.
Well, we just got through raising the roof. We'll be going through inspections and sheetrocking here shortly, so I'd say a couple months.
That's fine. Matter of fact, if it's a couple months, they're about 3-4 weeks out. I'll put an order in and go ahead and get them coming.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Cool, very cool.
Indeed, a very cool garage. And for very cool houses as well, we turn to Ventura Custom Homes with Loy Lowry again and his wife Shade, and they're giving us the scoop.
This is a little bit more on the modern side. It's a modern Mediterranean. Shade had a lot of input into this one. This reflects a lot of her personal taste.
We're known in the industry as a builder that has every aspect of every design down, because we could go from the very ornate to the very ultra-modern, and we love doing both because it's challenging for us to, get into what the customer's needs are and passion is, and then give them and surprise them at every corner. When they walk into their home, they need to feel like they really don't need to vacation anymore because their home is their vacation. It is their resort. Once we find out what the customers are really looking for, our motto being we build sanctuaries for the senses, we really go to town trying to give them the things that makes their home a sanctuary for their senses. But also keep in mind that everybody has a budget Even our 26,000 square foot home has a budget. And so it's important for us to give them that sanctuary within that budget. That's the most important for us. But at every corner of their house, there has to be an element of surprise. I think that's what makes our company unique.
Loy's background in different parts of the country had a lot to do with the design of this home. The basement.
Well, we have quite a bit of fall from the front to the back, probably about 30 to 40 feet. So consequently, if you were to fill a lot up and level it out, you can imagine the amount of dirt and cost that would be. So consequently, a lot of times it makes more sense to do a basement, because then within the house itself, you're building a retaining wall. The lot is more viable to be used because now all of a sudden, all your outdoor activities are on the lower level. You walk out and you've got your pool and you've got a beautiful backyard.
And how does Loy feel about building in the hills of Kingswood?
The absolute beauty of the developments, the topography, the trees, the large lots, the privacy, the gated community.
The rolling terrain.
Absolutely.
You don't get that in Texas. You don't get that in Dallas.
Right.
So I think that was incredible for me, because you get hills and you get view with hills. Yeah, we're excited about this community. Loved it.
We have unquestionably the best builders at the hills of Kingswood. Where are we on the phases and lots?
We have some wonderful custom builders. And also, I'd like to kind of take a sneak peek a little bit about Phase 5. We think it'll work like Phase 1 or special lots, where individuals come in and they'll walk these lots, they'll fall in love, they'll bring the best builders, the best architects. These folks are there, ready to build your dream home.
John, it sounds like you've got it under control. We're at home here in the hills of Kingswood, and we want you to be too. Thanks a lot, John.
Thank you, Jocelyn.
Sharon Webb is our go-to gal in the hills of Kingswood, so stop by, get a personal tour of our community, and let Sharon introduce you to the spectacular home sites we have available. You too can be at home in the hills of Kingswood. Give her a call to set up your appointment. Designing Texas continues. Okay, you hear that little bit of hustle and bustle in the background? That's because the restaurant Toulouse in Legacy West will be opening tomorrow, and they're scrambling to get the final finishing touches done. And with me is one of the two men behind the whole thing. One, of course, Alberto Lombardi, the owner of the restaurant, and the other, his main design build guy for what, 20 years? Our pal Bruce Rousseau. So Bruce, how does this stand out from other restaurants you've built and other Toulouse restaurants?
As the overall,
Yeah.
you really can't put a category tag on it. Is it really French? Is it really Italian? It has such a mix, and it's very eclectic to a French design that it has a beauty of its own.
Yeah.
The entire team done an excellent job.
Yeah. I call it sophisticated, and we're going to let you take us on a tour.
Well, alrighty then. Let's do it. I'm on my way to Toulouse, Legacy West. Check on final progress. I got to tell you, the wow factor is surely going to be delivered on this one. If you recall in the last show, I showed you some of the details, the zinc countertops, some of the marble, but as promised, I will deliver all the details today on this episode of Building with Bruce. The wrapper on the outside is still here. You're one of the first to see what's inside. Come on. Toulouse, Legacy West. Nothing in Legacy West compares to what's happened here at Toulouse. Now it's all come together. Custom furniture, custom tables, light fixtures. 56 pieces to each light fixture. How do I know? It's like a box of Cracker Jacks. When you open them, the surprise inside, all those had to be put together piece by piece. It's beautiful. Now I bring you to the bar, the heartbeat of any restaurant concept. The zinc countertops that I give you a peek on the last show. Now the entire program is here. The backlighting that I talked about, underneath the bottles, lights all the liquor, and makes this entire bar inviting. So when you walk in the front door, this is the first thing you see. Within 5 seconds, you're deciding to come here or you're going to eat dinner. We can accommodate anything here. Small tables, deuces, 6 tops, and then the private dining room. We can take family, friends, mother-in-laws, father-in-laws. Even if you got some outlaws, we'll take them too. Energy by Mirrors with the great lighting that we have here, stepped up and down so we don't have a dull pattern. Acoustic panels on the wall to help keep the acoustics in check in case the outlaws get it out of line a little bit. Open kitchen concept. I really enjoy the concept because it lets all the energy from the front of the house mixed with the back of the house as one beautiful dining experience. All this here will have oysters and lobster and redfish. You'll actually be able to see seafood here, be prepared, cooked, or however it's gonna come to your table. It takes a lot of effort and a great team to put that all together. As I continue to tour through the restaurant, details. Again, the colors in the table as the backdrop on the marble. And then we have the bakery. Not only are the details visual, but they will be smelled throughout the restaurant. From start to finish, when you walk in until you leave, nothing but details. We'll call this one a wrap here at Toulouse Legacy West. Follow us on Facebook. I'm Bruce Russo. Thanks for watching this episode of Building with Bruce.
It really is, as you can see, a stunning restaurant, and I'll be here at noon tomorrow with some gal pals. Got to check out the food, see if it's every bit as good as the restaurant looks. And speaking of projects and building things, it's time for our Build to Suit, and here, of course, is Jennifer Terrell. Jen.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Terrell, your host on Build to Suit on Designing Texas. Today we're at the model home of Ron Davis on Melshire, and as you can see, there is so much going on and things are moving fast. From the stucco to the stone to some exciting new water features that are going to be built outside by Tahitian pools. Today Ron is doing a smoke test at the home on Melshire with the folks of Owens Corning. Ron, tell me why it is so important that we do a smoke test on this home.
This is part of our ongoing energy program that we initiated with Owens Corning. It's called Comfort Build. And the reason why it's so important, we're building a new model here on Melshire, and we want to show to our customers and our future customers how our homes are comfortable and energy efficient. Let's get started.
Oh, we better get out of here.
Since you can't really see where air leaks coming out of the house, what we're doing is we're simulating what a smoke test. So we're filling the house up with smoke and pressurizing it and walking the perimeter of the house to see where air is leaking. What Ron Davis does is something different than most builders do. They're gasketing and air sealing from the exterior of the home rather from the interior of the home. So by doing that, we're to be able to stop the air before it comes into the home, and that's what this test is going to prove.
Majority of builders, I don't know if any other builder in Dallas does the smoke test. We do it for 2 reasons. First is to test the home and see if there's any air leakage going out of the house. And that's very important for your home to be very efficient, very comfortable, and overall in our Comfort Build program. The second reason is, here you live in the city, or any city, and you got things coming in, bad things in the air, keeping things from the mold or allergens coming in, because a lot of people are sensitive to things like that. So that's just as important.
We'll be outside, so get ready to be muddy. Because what we do is we fill up this whole house with smoke.
So what building scientists do for builders is we go through their plans and find out how to improve it, how to achieve or even exceed code. From air sealing to insulation in walls to slab edge insulation, we look at the whole aspect of the house, look at the whole consumption of energy, and try to make a house better. So Ron Davis is building a house that we would consider future-proof. So as the new code cycle was to come in, he still meets or exceeds that. So Ron is really future-proofing his house.
So what you're seeing on the smoke test, you'll see some smoke coming out through the ventilation, but what we're looking for is around the windows where we're not seeing any windows coming out in areas like that of the home where it's very important.
So was it a success?
Yes, it was. The smoke test was so much fun and a great success. I learned our house is very tight and we're building a great home. Thanks to Owens Corning, the Burgess Company, Lone Star Framing, and Covert & Associates, we are experiencing another successful smoke test at our new model on Melshire.
Smoky, smoky!
Well, the home on Delroy is really starting to take shape. There's sticks in the air, and we know the home is well insulated with the wrapping of Owens Corning. And the design of that home was the work of Covert & Associate and Scott Prentice, and we'll meet him on the next episode of Build to Suit on Designing Texas. Here's Bruce Russo with B. Russo Designs to give us a little dirt on the Texas soils.
Spring is in the air. The allergies are up. The Bradford pears are in bloom. The red buds are in bloom. It's springtime, and it's time to start thinking about landscaping. Important, number one, soil type. This type of plant takes a totally different soil than this type of plant. You need to know that. If you want to go as far as taking a sample of your soil in your yard and send it to Texas A&M, they can tell you how acidic or non-acidic or whatever the case may be on how to condition the soil for your landscape to be a successful one. But when it comes to the foundation and the soil that your house is setting on, that's where we engage with a geotech engineer. We'll talk more about that in detail on the next 60 Seconds with Bruce here on Build to Suit.
Thanks, Bruce. If you're building a home in Texas, it's sure good to know the different kind of soils you're dealing with. I'm Jennifer Terrell with Build to Suit. Thanks for joining us. That's what you need in there.
I always wondered how a smoke test was done. Well, there you have it. This month's Deep in the Heart is something especially close to my heart. Now, y'all know I have a horse named Fabio, and I'm taking dressage lessons from master trainer Cindy Franchek. Well, coming up at Fair Park on April 12th through the 14th is the Dallas Charity Horse Show. You see all kinds of horses pursuing various riding disciplines, and Cindy will be giving us a Grand Prix dressage demo. So come support the Friends of the Dallas Mounted Police, the Friends of Fair Park, and eQuest, all while enjoying riders and horses doing what they love. Go to Dallas Charity Horse Show for more details. I'll be there too. Now, I mentioned that my birthday was last weekend, and I want to say a few words about birthdays. When you reach a certain age, you don't tell your birthday anymore. You just celebrate the fact that you were born. I have a philosophy, and it is that age is a number, numbers are math, and I don't do math. So perhaps you'd like to adopt that philosophy as your own. And also, I do tell my friends, I don't say happy birthday, I say I'm so glad you were born. So today, home to me is where they better be glad you were born. We'll see you next month.